So we've already heard a little bit of a story from AJ Foyt, but the first-time winner of the Indy 500, 61, 64, 67, 77, only driver to win Indy 500, Daytona, 24 Hours Le Mans, 67 IndyCar wins, 7 IndyCar championships as a driver. When you say you're voted driver of the century, you got to stop there. What else are you going to say? I mean,
well,
it's just amazing.
You know, I'm just glad to be named amongst some of the great race drivers. A lot of people, you're the best. No, I'm just glad to be named amongst them.
Wow.
Because in their days, it'd be like golf. The golfers today are some great golfers.
Right.
But then you look at Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus and Rodriguez and all them.
Yeah.
What says they could beat them in their days with what they were playing with?
Right.
That's the same way racing's changed with the cars and technology.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad to be named amongst the greats.
Well, and that's the only way you can probably deal with the argument, because it's one of those things where there is no answer. Nobody has a right answer.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Who will ever know?
Yeah, exactly. But your perspective is very important, because you can talk about the barometer of change. You win your first Daytona 500 in 72, and the 24-hour Le Mans in 67. So 67, that's a lot of years. That's 50 years or more. 60 years when you can see the changes in the business. So what's the biggest change in the industry?
The biggest change I see is safety. I mean, when it comes right down to it, because I've got a lot of burn scars where you hit and the cars blew up and all that. That's the biggest thing. The seats that you got before, when you run stock car at Daytona, you had a seat about like this. Now you're in kind of a capsule. So what I guess I'm saying is that's the biggest change, is safety in racing today compared to what it used to be.
Are the drivers, you kind of answer this, but I'm asking anyway, are the drivers better today? Are they stronger today? Are they more mentally tough today? Or was it the good old days?
Well, they're not near as strong as some of the older guys. Not even close. And I'll tell you why, because the cars are so much easier to drive today, because you got all the ground effects and all that. And like when I had to change jets or something halfway through a 500-mile race, I had to do it manually. Now we tell them on a computer, go to map 1 or map 2 or whatever.
Okay.
The steering wheel costs more today than my racing whole operation used to be when I raced. So what I tell a lot of the young drivers, don't get mad and throw that steering wheel anymore, because you're talking about half.
You're going to pay for it.
$50,000.
Yeah.
You're going to pay for it.
You're going to pay for it.
Because I throwed many of them, but then it wasn't about $40.
So they're not stronger. Are they smarter? Are they more strategic? Or was it the good old days?
I don't think they're any smarter, and the reason I say that, because they're driving everything operating off of computers now.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like in golf. Look at what Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus and all them played with.
Yeah.
And look at your clubs today, what they're playing with. You'll never know if them golfers were as great as these, or were they, you just don't know, because it'll never happen. So you can just look back, them were some great golfers and some of my idols, you know, back there. And just like Ben Hogan always wore his gloves. And then last time I won Indy, I said 67, he seen my red gloves, and everybody else wore them fireproof ones. And I got scars on my hand. I could not drive with them real thick gloves. And I guess I still got about, he must have sent me 25 or 30 pair. And I still got about 2 or 3 brand new pair, because you always wore them out. But I always raced in golf clubs. If you ever look at my hands, I always wore the golf clubs. So back then, you had to have feel in your hands and also your butt.
Yeah.
Now the computer tells you everything.
Well, I don't want to ask you what you wore on your butt. We'll leave that one alone for another day.
Right.
But here's a kind of final question for you. Is the industry going in the right direction? Is it better today? The business of NASCAR, of Indy racing, the sport itself, is it better today, or was it better years ago?
Well, I think years ago the crowds were bigger and picking up every day better and better now. And because like when I started in stock cars and modifieds at home and midget, people followed you. It'd be like some of your amateur golfers. They start real little, and as they go bigger, you got a fan base that follows them until they get to the top. And that's what you don't have today with the race drivers. They come in, and a lot of their parents have got a lot of money. They buy them a ride because they know it's a lot safer. But back then, they didn't want to mess with it because it's very easy to go 6 foot underground.
Yeah. Very easy to go 6 foot underground, but the guy didn't do it, and he is a legitimate icon, and I'm honored to have you do this. Thank you, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Nice to be with you.
Awesome.